could you kindly give us the pros to using animation?
Animation works for certain specific brands, and it's ideal in getting a communication across, not necessarily replacing live action, but as an alternative way of getting things across. It is a very powerful tool in that, especially when you're using characters or even sophisticated design on more retail-based ads. Animation also crosses boundaries. It can cross cultures, it can cross age gaps. If you look at the success of many animated films, going back to that side, not on the commercial side, is it appeals to the old and the young, and that's the one thing animation does do. In the commercial space, it can bring another angle to a product as opposed to just putting across something very directly. And animation, it's humorous, it gives a personality, and used correctly at a certain level, it can be very cost effective as well. Over the last year, it's been quite interesting. We've seen our animation commercials not necessarily dropping off, whereas live action ads have. So it has maintained its market as an effective communication tool.
If one looks at Avatar, I mean, James Cameron waited 9 years to put it together, given the, I mean, it's quite a spectacular movie, but he had technological restrictions. Could you say this, he's actually set a trend in animation?
It's groundbreaking. Everything about it is, it's unique, what he's pulled into that movie, but it's on many different levels. It's not just on the animation level, it's on the storytelling. It's been the 3D side of it has put the film in a different realm. So it has captured people's imaginations as well. You know, it does stand out as a different type of film. Its audience is appealing to, and the level of finish that he's managed to get into it.
And you know, can any company use animation?
I don't necessarily believe that animation is suitable for all sorts of brands. And some brands can use it at a certain time, but I think that it is important to understand the honesty and that comes through human interaction. So we can't substitute human interaction for animation completely. We can use it at a certain level, and as Tracey's already said, it can be humorous, and it can sometimes be a cost-effective way of communicating what you're trying to do, but I don't think it will always replace live and human interaction, and I think that we need to make sure that we use it when it's suitable. Certain brands still need to have that authenticity.
I hope it never does replace live action. You know, the realism of eye contact and people dealing with it. That's not where animation's aimed. Or ideally, it's currently not where animation's aimed. And I think any purist in the animation field would never want it to replace a live action storytelling scenario. It is for a different sector of the market. And you shouldn't be looking at replacing animation with live action. They are used for different products, different brands, with different communications.
I mean, animation has been viewed as expensive. Is this still the case?
You know, it depends the level of what you're looking at. It is cost effective in certain areas, and it can be expensive. It all goes to the degree of finish, what you're trying to do, how sophisticated you're wanting to do it. But the art of animation, you can do incredible things with animation relatively simply. I mean, a character and a line can get something across which you can't capture in any other way. You couldn't even dream of doing it in live action. So there are uses in animation that are far more powerful than you can even try and capture in another way. So again, it's got to be used for the right thing. And then, yes, it is cost effective. There are lots of animation brands that are happening on your insurance companies and things that are using very strong characters. I think it captures something that you can't envisage capturing with live action. So it has its market, and that level of advertising is cost effective. It's cost effective in that the agency works directly with an animation house. They develop the thing together. So just how the whole process works it can be cost effective. It's certainly very cost effective on your retail side.
I think also what's important is that when we talk about brand communication, yes, sometimes if we're just trying to communicate the message, we can animate it. But in some instances, it really is about the product itself, showing the product. So, for example, a hotel, you cannot animate that. You've got to show the real thing, and you've got to show the real people. So it always has a place, and I believe animation has a place, but choose it carefully and choose it wisely.